Uppercut, uppercut, sonic boom! Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and if you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too, welcome back to channel. I'm Bushka. Today's video is sponsored by Pubg Mobile, and it's a pretty funny turn of events, actually. I started playing this mode of the game, Bluehole mode, first, and then I thought, oh, Pubg Mobile, I love this. I gotta get this out as a sponsored video because this is so much fun. Number one, there's no skill-based matchmaking. It's just everyone jump in, have a good time. And number two, it's a completely new and novel mode of the game. It's like a donut, like a giant donut, where the circle is actually worse in the middle than it is on the outside, and it forces everyone to rotate in around the edges, which makes for a wonderful amount of combat. You don't get a lot of people running to the middle of the zone and just holding a compound. As you can see here on the writer's screen, the circle actually has a tiny shallow side. Like, the difference between the edges of the circle and the middle of the zone can be tiny at times, and you will find whole squads in this tiny little space, and it becomes fantastic late game. Like, you can't help but find people. It also forces you to really watch the circle and your rotations, and because of that, only 61 people were in the queue, but man, it felt like the game had 200 players in it because I was constantly finding people everywhere. As a game mode, it's just normal mode, but with circles that force everyone to get involved. Oh, how about the dolphin dive? How's your six-finger claw working out, buddy? Pretty bloody good, if I do say so myself. Now, I'm going to show you this game where I potato out at the end, and then I'm going to show you another game where I potato out at the end. No, just jokes there. Probably not jokes. The loot was also really plentiful. It looked like there was a lot more loot, but that might also be due to the fact that there's only 60 people in there, and the same amount of loot in the loot table means, wow, you're going to cop an absolute buttocks load full of gear. There were plenty of action-packed moments. Not having raiding, not having skill-based matchmaking means that the queue really does get very, very active. There's nothing to lose. Everyone has a go. And this little section that I was talking about before, this tiny little slither between the purpley blue hole in the middle and the edge of the white safe zone, gets absolutely jammed full of people. And I should have known better, but as soon as I started going there, I realized you're going to get rinsed if you come in unhappy and unready, which was great. And we got killed there. So we started off again, dropped George Pole crates, which was actually part of the circle, and it was just on for Donkey Kong as soon as we started. Squad upon squad upon squad, jumping and dumping at George Pole, and it was just fantastic. The only problem is I don't have 20 minutes to do this video. Otherwise, I'd show you the full hot drop, but you can hear there's people jumping around all over the place, and there's multiple squads over there, and you're going to see this really weird thing where I get a bunch of knocks, no kills, and I'm like, there's got to be some kills here. Like, what is going on? And there's actually two squads there in front of me, so I just keep knocking people, and none of them are dying. Like, I've got to thirst every knock to get the kill, and I never found the leader of that squad. I never got an insta-kill the whole time at George Pole crates, and I walked out of here with 8 of them. That's the guy who knocked everyone inside. I was baffled. I don't understand what went on. And you're going to see in a second as they all start crawling towards this container. There's someone up there to my right as well. There's just people crawling in from everywhere. I'm like, there's another one that I knocked. Crawling in, trying to get inside. But I went in there was no one in there. I don't know. It's a mystery to me. I got to say, the fact that there's nothing to lose just encourages you to go and have a crack. It's a lot of fun. This is another crazy engagement where, as you rotate in, there's no one in the middle of the circle. Everyone's on the edges of the circle. So as you get to late game, the game mode encourages you to end up in the same space as other players. I'm sure if you wanted to be a desperado and win a Bluehole mode game, you could go and just stock up on meds and run around in the blue, but it's defeating the purpose of the game, which is making you play in a very different manner to the way you play in classics. And It also teaches people, if you want to know about circle management, Bluehole mode is excellent as a training tool for newer players, because what it does is it forces you to actually stay in the corridor at the edge of the circle or rotate on the edges, which is where quite often you want to be rotating, especially on maps like Miramar, where you can roll in around the edges. And that guy was the guy who shot at me on the motorbike on the way in, and you hear that was a grenade. They were trying to kill him. They still think he's up there on the roof. So this is another whole different squad. Imagine you're on a normal Classics map on Erangel. You're on like the 5th circle and there's only 15 people left alive. You've got a circle that's basically about, I don't know, 2Ks wide, and everyone is spread out within that. That's not how Bluehole mode works. That's not how it is. Bluehole mode forces everyone into the space on the edges of the circle. So even though there's only 60 people, and I was at first very dubious as to why they would have only 60 people on the map. I'm like, that's crazy. You'll never find anyone. If you had more people, this would be mayhem. This would be absolute. Everywhere would be like boot camp in Sanhok. It is so easy to find gunfights and engagements, even though there are only 60 people on the map. And that was really surprising for me, and one of the best parts of the game mode itself. You need to go and try this game mode. It's fast, it's furious, it's great for training your rotation skills, makes you look at the minimap, keeps you constantly in combat. My only wish was that it was, if you had this on Sanhok, it would be crazy intense. I'd love to see it. I'd love them to bring it to another map as part of it. But they've got so many great game modes anyway that it can actually be quite hard to play all of them at the same time. I'd love to see it though. Anyway, let's walk through the final stages of this Bluehole game. And the buggy's going to do me pretty hard here, as it always does. Just as a squad starts shooting at you, it decides to hit a bump and spin out. And I'm like, I'm not going to try and run through that while they full spray that. I potato a couple of M24 shots here. Well, when I say potato, I miss it. You know, that was going high. I was a bit worried. I mean, they're suppressing, and then this guy moves just as the round was about to split his earballs. The obvious move here for me is to run away with keeping the smoke behind me, and then chuck a hard left, head north, get to the top of the hill, and see if these guys rotate in and try and get me at the car, thinking that I'm still there behind the smoke. Because a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll just lie down in the grass there. That's their game. And that's great. We get a tag on that bloke just to slow him up, make him think that, yeah, he's still there, he's still engaging, he's still shooting. And then we get up here to the top, and I don't know what they're shooting at now, but it's a bit of a comedy of errors. There's two of them down there in the car. He's shooting at something. Then they're running along. One of them's taken off in a car, and I tag his mate, and then he comes back. And then two of the others jump in a car and actually push along below me, and it all gets very, very confusing. And I think one of the reasons that it's confusing is that a lot of the squads you're coming up against, when you play Classics, you'll play in, say, Ace or something, and the squads you're coming up against are all together on voice comms, and they all play together regularly. Well, if you're going to play an arcade mode thing like Bluehole mode, no, do you love that Gren? The Gren's for the guy on the right. Because I was pretty sure he was going to push, and that must have hurt him. That must have stung him and left him in a real bad space. And then the other bloke's down there. But as I was saying, these are probably random squad mates. So their comms aren't great. And there's a lot of confusion going on, as you can see. And that plays right into your hands if you want to play solo squads. And these two are from that squad that you saw earlier, with the buggy moving along and the guy chasing after it. And then they rolled off in their own buggy, and they get left up here both knocked. You can see a guy running in down to the southwest. It's just a ball of confusion in a very different mode of rotation, and it ends up being a lot of fun. Now, of course, it wouldn't be a Bushka video without me just snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. Let's watch as I find new and improved ways to lose games. There is a guy over there standing up straight in plain sight, and I don't notice him. You're going to see in just a second. And I'm like, okay, there's a gunfight. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. He's got a Mark 14. And lie down and stand up. And then in a grenade. So this is 2 squads again. This is what I'm talking. Look at where I am in the circle. It is at the very, very shallowest edge of the zone. And this is where there is so much action. And despite there being just 60 people and only 6 people left alive, everyone's in the same kind of space. Because when the circle hard shifts, this little area here is absolutely the most popular place to be. It's like the donut, with the donut in the middle being where no one wants to get anything done, and the edges where all the tasty bits are. Yum, yum, yum. What a metaphor for life, Bushka. Oh, you've got such a way with words. 3 people left alive. It's about time. I haven't potatoed an M24 shot for a while. I'm like, he could have an AWM. I've got to be careful. He's not even shooting. What is he doing? Okay, I'll just shoot him. And we got the kill. You beaut, 1 person left. I drove around and around the donut for ages. Could not find this guy. Eventually, I find him snaking behind a tree down here. Out of the corner of my eye, I see a little bit of a darkness at the base of one of the sycamore trees. It's like moonlight in Vermont. It's all happening, and we start pushing back towards the southwest, and he's hidden his bad self further down in the grass line. So, of course, like any super tactical player, I drive straight past him. And then I stop, and then I pull out and throw a grenade. He throws a grenade. We both basically grenade the tree in front of us. And then because I apparently don't want to get a 20 bomb, I apparently am happy with 19 kills. I just push while my grenade is still live, mind you. Like it could have bounced off the tree and come back and kill me. It doesn't matter. He's going to zoom all over my screen anyway and kill me. Thanks very much. I mean, I've got no sense of self-preservation. I'm glad you guys like it though. Thanks for watching. Love Bluehole mode. Give it a shot. As always, look after yourselves. Be nice to your mum and stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now.